Good evening, everyone. In this class, we are going to discuss about Malthusian theory of population and its enduring equations. Okay, an introduction by Thomas Robert Malthus that proposed a fundamental conflict. Our ability to reproduce would inevitably outstrip our ability to feed ourselves. This presentation explores his influential theory, the six he believed would restore balance, and whether his dire predictions have come to pass. Okay. At the heart of Malthusian theory is a simple but powerful observation about the different rates at which populations and resources increases. Okay, population growth in geometric ratio. Okay, on the other hand, food supply growth in arithmetic ratio. Okay, Malthus stated that population tend to grow exponentially or geometrically. Unchecked, a population could double in as little as 25 years. Suppose like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Okay, it becomes double in during time. Okay, in a short period of time, it becomes double again and again. On the other hand, food supply, in contrast, the food supply increases at a linear or arithmetic rate due to limitations like available land, fertilizers, production capacity of soil, etc. Like this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2 in is unit. In this period of time. Okay, population growth is geometric and food supply is arithmetic. Now this is the visualizing the divergence difference between geometric and arithmetic. Food supply, this is the line of food supply and this is the line of geometric growth. Okay, the point where the population's needs begin to exceed the available food supply, leading to a strain on resources. This is the point. Malthus proposed a scenario where this divergence creates a trap, a situation where excess population leads to the overuse of resources, ultimately resulting in their depletion. In this state, living standards stagnate or decline. And economic growth or technological advancement would merely sustain the growing population without significantly improving the quality of life for the average person. It is a condition where the population will stop growing due to the sheer shortage of the food supply. Okay, this is the Malthusian trap. More people leads to a greater strain on resources, greater pressure on resources like natural resources and foods, and it leads to ultimately stagnant living standards. Okay, then it leads to support more people at subsistence level. When population outpaces the food supply, a disequilibrium exists. Malthus argued that this imbalance would be corrected by powerful forces he called six. These six act to restore the balance between population and resources, either by increasing the death rate or decreasing the birth rate. Positive sex means involuntary events that increase mortality. Positive sex means increase mortality, increase of death rate. Then preventive sex, voluntary. The preventive sex means voluntary human actions that reduce fertility. Okay, birth control measures like. Okay, now the positive sex, when nature intervenes. Positive sex are severe, often catastrophic events that increase the mortality rate. Malthus saw this as nature's way of curbing a population that has surpassed its environment's capacity. These sex are typically beyond human control. Okay, like famine or starvation, epidemics or diseases, war, earthquakes, floods, and natural disasters. Okay, these are active sex that bring the population level down to the level of the available food supply. Okay, this is done by nature itself. Okay, on the other hand, preventive sex, the human response. The other method of population control, preventive sex, are voluntary decisions made by humans to reduce the birth rate. The choice to use this sex often depends on societal perception of resource scarcity and socioeconomic conditions. For example, late marriage, celibacy and self-control, birth control, simple living. Okay, Malthus believes these measures could prevent the catastrophic effects of the positive sex. Okay, these sex are done by or controlled by human. Controlled by human. Okay, the Malthus catastrophe. The core concept is that in Malthus' vision, if the population continues to grow unchecked, it would result in a Malthusian catastrophe. Description: this is not a gradual decline but a sudden drastic reduction in population. It would manifest as widespread famine and disease on a massive scale. Okay, function: Malthus viewed this catastrophic event as the ultimate corrective mechanism that would violently restore the balance between population size and available resources. It's important to note that Malthus did not state this was an inevitable outcome, but rather a cautionary warning of what could potentially occur if no checks were implemented. Okay, this is the point of catastrophe. That means low food production and high population. This is a timeline. This is the population and resource. Okay, so was Malthus right? Okay, the Malthus theory was profoundly influenced discussions about population for over 2 centuries. But did his predictions hold true? While his prediction provided a powerful framework, it has also attracted substantial criticism based on historical developments Malthus did not foresee. The following slides examine the key arguments against his model. Okay, the criticisms are: understanding the human ingenuity. Critics argue that Malthus failed to account for technological advancement that have fundamentally changed agriculture and food production. Okay, modern agriculture techniques and genetically modified crops have boosted food production capabilities far beyond Malthus' anticipation, and many times food production has increased at a rate faster than population growth, okay, due to the scientific and technological innovations. Okay, one case study: the United States. Today, only 2% of the population works in the agricultural sector, yet the country's total GDP is over $14 trillion, indicating massive productivity gains. Okay, on the other hand, similarly, another criticism: the world more complex. Okay, globalization. Malthus' theory implied a limited food supply based on local land availability in a local conditions. It did not foresee the effects of increased globalization, where food can be produced in vast quantities in one part of the world and transported to another, alleviating local shortage. Okay, globalization means that it connects the whole global world into a village. Convert whole globe into a global village. And if America produce rice support, it can transfer its production towards the USSR or African countries if they need it. Okay, if has their shortage of rice production. Okay, population as a stimulant. Some economists argue the opposite of Malthus, that population growth can stimulate economic development. A larger population increases demand, which can spur innovation and productivity. Okay, another criticism: society is not static. Okay, it is dynamic. It is changing in nature. Malthus' model of preventive checks largely assumed static social and cultural norms. Society and culture evolve over time, which affects birth and death rates in complex ways not captured by the Malthusian model. Factors like widespread education, changing rules for women, urbanization, and access to modern family planning have had profound impacts on population dynamics that go beyond late marriage or celibacy. Okay, education, changing rules for women, urbanization. Okay, the enduring relevance of a fluid theory. Okay, if the theory has significant flaws, why do we still study it? Okay, the Malthusian theory remains an important framework because it was the first to rigorously examine the delicate balance between population and resources. Okay, it was a first. Its significance lies in its influence on modern thought and policy. Population policy: it plays a pivotal role in shaping policies, with governments implementing strategies for family planning and birth control. Resource management: it highlights the need for efficient resource allocation and planning to sustain a growing population. Environmental sustainability: it provides a lens to examine the environmental impacts of overpopulation, such as resource exploitation and biodiversity loss. Okay, this is the recent relevance or importance of Malthusian population theory. Now, there is a modern dilemma: new Malthusian theory. The core concept of new Malthusian theory is the core concerns of Malthus are echoed in new Malthusian thoughts. This is not just about food, but about the planet's overall carrying capacity. Okay, there is another concept: carrying capacity. New Malthusian theory, this refers to the advent of modern population control programs and broader concern for ensuring all resources like water, energy, clean air are available for current and future populations. Okay, the human population is still growing at an alarming rate, projected to reach 9.9 billion by 2050. We continue to grapple with overpopulation, poverty, and resource scarcity on a global scale. Malthus' predictions of catastrophe were averted by technological and social changes he could not imagine. Yes, his fundamental questions remain more relevant than ever. The central tension is that can our innovation continue to outpace the demands of a growing population on a finite planet? Okay, the Malthusian theory serves as a crucial perpetual reminder of the delicate balance we must strive to maintain. Okay, in this class we have discussed about Malthusian theory of population growth. That's all for today. If you have any doubt and query, just let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thank you.